Welcome to the Human Frame podcast with me, Łucja, where I talk to incredible people that I've met along different industries to talk about art as a form of activism.
So today I'm joined with Ania Drewniok, who is a singer, composer, improviser, and socially engaged multidisciplinary artist whose work bridges music, culture and activism. Performing both as a solo artist with multiple bands, she blends influences from jazz, musical theatre and classic rock with the folk traditions and sung poetry of Poland, creating a distinctive sound rooted in both innovation and heritage. Alongside her artistic practice, Ania is the communications and social media strategist at Pomoc. Her activism began in Poland, where she campaigned for LGBTQ+ rights and access to abortion, reflecting a long-standing commitment to social justice and community empowerment. Through both her creative and advocacy work, Ania explores the connections between identity, belonging, culture, and collective action. Thanks again for joining me. I'm really excited about this conversation.
Thank you for inviting me. Really excited too.
Right, let's just jump in. So, what first drew you to folk music? Was it something that you grew up around? I assume so.
Yeah. My family is pretty musical. My dad plays in an Irish folk music band, which is curious in Poland. He's a bass guitarist. But I think the person who drew me to folk music the most was my nan. She is not a musician, but she can sing beautifully, and she's a regional activist and educator and just a very passionate person about Silesia, which is the region that I'm from. And she has this album of songs that she wrote down that her mum passed to her and the mum's mum passed to her. They basically go as far as my great grandmother. And those were the first folk songs that I've learned. And I brought them to many singing competitions and people never knew them because this is just something that my nan wrote down and it was like our family legacy, and everybody was like, where did you get this song from? So yeah, they are pretty special, but I feel like around my teenage years, the Silesian culture started being portrayed as something cringe and something that I didn't really want to identify with, just because the Polish government wanted to like villainize Silesia. And for a bit, I disconnected from this culture because I thought I didn't like it. And then when I started gaining some more political consciousness, I started learning more about Silesia, and I just, studied music and rediscovered some folk sounds. I came back to those songs, and they are still present in my practice.
What was specifically connected you to the actual sounds themselves? Because it's when you listen to Polish and Silesian folk, it's, I don't know, there's like a deep connection, and I don't know personally whether it's like a link to heritage and like all the rich kind of historical aspects of it as well, or whether it is something else.
Yeah, I feel like it is definitely the heritage. Also, like my family heritage, I felt like a responsibility, but also just carrying on singing songs of the people that are no longer with us. I think there is something beautiful about that. And I also just love the sound. I love the aesthetics. I love the way that you sing in Polish folk music using this like very, throat singing, something that is very specific. I feel like the singing of typically the Silesian songs is a bit more relaxed. It's not as like throaty as Polish songs, but it's something that you would sing when you were working, when you were putting your kids to bed. It's just lovely how nonchalant these songs are, and I love the sound.
And is there a particular song or sound that makes you feel connected specifically?
So yeah, definitely there is a song from that album that my nan wrote down that makes me feel most connected. And it's a lullaby. It's called Hey Shipi Shipi Rosiczka, which means hey, falling, falling is the rain. And it's just so beautiful, and I feel like my nan sang it to me, now I'm singing it to my sister's kids. I sang it to my other nan when she was on her deathbed, which was pretty heartbreaking. And I feel like this song just carries so much meaning to our family and so much connection between us.
It's really beautiful when you get that connection also, because I feel like, you know, like you mentioned, even when relatives like pass away and stuff, it can still get you to the exact place of being with them there and feeling their presence. And yeah, I don't know, I just think it's such a beautiful way, and like I feel like sound and music always brings you to specific times in your life as well.
Yeah. Whenever I hear that song, I just feel like a small kid who was staying over at my nan's, and she was telling me stories and singing me songs, and it's so nice.
And obviously folk music, you know, is like the songs of the people, and obviously Poland has been oppressed quite a lot.
Yeah.
all our lovely dictatorships that we've had. So there's so much history and memory with it, whether it's even like pre-modern history, because obviously like with pagan like religions and folk music was very like rich in Polish history then. Do you feel a responsibility when performing it at all?
Yeah, especially performing the songs from Silesia, because loads of them are in Silesian language, which I feel is quite important to continue and to, you know, keep that language alive despite of oppression from the government trying to deny its existence. Also carries like linguistically how people were speaking, and some of the songs that we consider Silesian and are from that region are actually not in Silesian, they are in Polish, and it just shows the dynamic of how you know, this land has been kind of Polishized. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, and I feel like loads of the songs are also carrying stories of women. Loads of the songs are from perspectives of women who are often so unheard in history and ignored that it feels important to continue singing these songs.
Is there one specific one that you kind of feel like a connection most to, or that you just like the sound of, or anything like that?
I really love a song called Dałby mi Pan Bóg ptaszkiem być, which is I wish God would let me become a bird and fly away. And it's basically a song from a perspective of a woman who is missing her beloved, and that beloved has also cheated on her. And yeah, there are so many like heartbreaking stories of women just hurting or being hurt by men, not just like on the romance sphere, but like some songs which seem harmless and speak about, you know, how romance was done in the olden days. They are actually not so harmless and show how deeply women were oppressed. So yeah, it is, I do feel a responsibility of that.
Yeah, no, I get that, because I feel like even like for me, I don't know, I cast in something that's about Marzanna, so the Polish goddess of death, let's say, in a way. And I never realized all of this rich heritage that had from it. But even the script is again what happened to her is happening to women in Poland now.
Mm-hmm.
In a way. So I just find it really interesting how, like, you know, like you mentioned all the difficulties women had then, whether it's like romances or whether it's deeper like domestic violence and all that kind of and more.
Mm-hmm.
How it just comes back full circle, and how, you know, this is exactly the same stuff, you know, he's talking about the government and all those kind of things, which is exactly what's happening to women in Poland and other groups in Poland at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, it was kind of like a mindfuck moment in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're not really moved along much, have we?
I know. Yeah, there's also this one song where it's basically a man begging a girl to be his, and he just doesn't take no for an answer, and then like in the last verse she just gives in and she's like, well, I guess I'll marry you. And I just think this is so like heartbreaking, and it didn't change in a bit that like men still do have those attitudes and do not take no for an answer. And yeah, it's just, yeah.
I know, right? All the stuff that we have. But how do you balance preserving that tradition whilst making it feel slightly, because your music does sound slightly more contemporary in a way, that still also like appeal to the modern day listener?
Yeah. I think that there are two layers to this. One is obviously the music itself. I feel like the instruments that I choose, the sound. I'm very into jazz, so I'm trying to create like a blend of jazz and folk. I have varied ensembles with musicians who sometimes switch instruments, and I feel like just the color of the jazz band is giving it such a new breath of life. Yeah, improvising is always fun. Improvising always brings a new life as well. But one important thing for me as well, in terms of sound, but also in terms of how the words sound, was working with a Silesian activist and a Silesian activist group called Durś on the pronunciation. And as I mentioned, some of the songs that my nan passed to me, they are in Polish because of that was the political reality of people living in Silesia in this day. And it's like sometimes you can tell that it's trying to be Silesian, but it's like Polishized. So I Silesianized them a bit. I changed the way I accent certain words. I changed the spelling to include the actual alphabet that Silesian activists are right now trying to codify. And I didn't want to change the actual words because I do feel like it's important to preserve them. I just wanted to think about like pronunciation and writing them down, and how do we, as Silesian language is evolving and there are those new systems of codifications, and this fight for Silesian language is probably louder than ever, how can I contribute to that just with my work?
Yeah, which is such an important thing, I think, in terms of like ensuring that future generations also see the progress of it, and that it stays and doesn't disappear as well. Obviously, you're an immigrant to the UK, just as me. How do you think you can keep cultural identity alive, especially as Poles outside of Poland as well?
I feel like a lot of people who are immigrants who are in artistic circles naturally just come back to the culture, the music of their home, because that's what their home is. And on one hand, I'm trying to be careful about not just like locking myself in completely in the soundscape of my home, but I cannot deny that it's a part of me, that it shapes me, that I listen to those songs, and that some of this music is just the most beautiful music that I've ever heard, and I just relate to it on such a personal level. But I do think it's also important to just like keep keep it evolving and not just lock ourselves in this like cultural bubble where we're not curious to experience more and grow.
Yeah. I also don't know about you, but like when I listen to Polish folk music that I grew up on, that my grandparents and my parents used to play, it's like some of the language and the words and the music hits me so hard, especially as an actor as well when I'm preparing for a role. I get like I'm thinking about it now, I was thinking like we're getting welling up, but like it affects me emotionally so much more than like other kinds of music. I don't know if you've seen something similar to you with you.
Absolutely. There is something raw about like experiencing the music of your culture in your language, in a tradition that you know, so you get like the full context of it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, experiencing culture in your second language is, of course, like once you get to that level of the second language where you can understand everything, is still not the same as just experiencing it in your first language, because it just hits you quite raw. Yeah.
And it's a kind of different type of depth in a way, right? Because it's like, it's still like, I have it with English, like it's still deep, like it still affects me, but it's just that bit more with Polish stuff. But yeah, going on some more into migrant work as well. You obviously also work at Pomoc. So how has that work shaped your understanding of community and belonging? Because you work with the diaspora in the UK quite a lot.
Yeah. So I guess before working with Pomoc, I thought of community as something very vague and decided by like the environment you find yourself in. Like, okay, your community are your neighbors, people from your area or from the places that you spend time in. But then I kind of experienced community in action, and it turned this abstract term into something concrete and powerful. Like I experienced protesting together, sharing resources without expecting anything in return. I saw how people rally when even one community member is in danger. So community isn't just decided by chance and environment, but it's built by choosing to show up, by caring for one another, and it makes every place, whether it's a country or a borough or a street, a better, happier place to be part of. And also with belonging, I also had a simplified idea of belonging, because I didn't realize how complex my identity was and that not all of it always belongs. So at the beginning of my journey in the UK, I was heavily engaging with Polish spaces, but unfortunately loads of them carry the conservative values from home, which made me feel like I don't belong there as a queer person and as a leftist. And at Pomoc, I found a space where I could be both Eastern European and queer, Polish and progressive. And we try to challenge the stereotype that Eastern European identity means that you are conservative. And we found that many people have been looking for such a space where you can bring all of you and all of your identities. So shared values have become a more important factor for me in belonging rather than just shared identity. And yes, the element of shared lived experience does matter, but belonging cannot be limited to nationality, and that's why we organize at Pomoc wider. We organize mainly with Eastern European migrants, but we also build solidarity with other migrant groups, and we try to be active members of the British community, or in my case, living in Wales, the Welsh community.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting as well, obviously, because Polish is obviously the second spoken language in the UK now.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see, how a lot of people do mix their both of us, it's coming over here and mixing into a new culture whilst preserving our culture, but then also newer Poles, let's say, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that are born here. and learn Polish through like their parents, and then going to school and identifying with that. So I feel like there's a different type of belonging and different type of Polish as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many different types of Polish. I'm currently having like a crisis over my Polish versus Silesian identity. Can I be both? How can I be both? Well, I've been, taught the Polish version of my Silesian identity by schools and the institutions. It's just so like, oh, this is so complicated. And I feel like it changes over time. It changes as you grow political consciousness, and you don't have to be married to your identity, and you are allowed to have a complicated relationship with it as well.
100%. And I don't know about you, but I feel like since the whole like COVID, women's rights, LGBT crisis happened during that little short space where the government all over the world had more control over people. For me, that was a massive moment of like panicking crisis of identity with being Polish, with being a Christian, with being this, and being like and being in the UK and all of these kind of things, and yet being so pro women and LGBT rights. Like how can I have so many conflicting things that make me one? So it's always interesting like working with Romos as well, because all of that can work together.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned. And what are some of the realities Polish migrants or vulnerable communities in the UK do you think are facing that often go unseen?
So obviously Brexit made living in the UK and arriving to the UK far more difficult for people from the EU. The application process was lengthy, complicated, and the results do not guarantee us safety. We even have members of other communities losing their British citizenship. And with EUSS, we don't have physical proof of status. The digital system is full of errors, and there are members of our communities who are elderly, disabled, or have mental health issues, and they struggle to go through this process to apply or access this status. Even carers, such as a mother who wanted to come to the UK to care for her very sick daughter, was not allowed entry, as sometimes caring and being a carer is seen as work. And so families are being torn apart. And for me personally, as a recent graduate, there was just like a lot of paperwork and stress to prove my status, but I am extremely privileged and lucky that I arrived here before Brexit, because I still paid home tuition fees, and now the only option for people who move here to study is an incredibly expensive student visa, and the fees are much higher. And it's even worse for people from outside the EU. There are almost no safe routes to come here from some countries, especially the countries torn by war. Even if you by miracle manage to arrive in the UK and claim asylum, you can't work until you get a decision. This leaves people in destitution, affects their health, mental health, and safety. And the hostile environment affects all migrants. And while Brexit scapegoated EU migrants, we can see that right now politicians are targeting Black and brown communities, especially Muslims. And they need solidarity from us, from Eastern Europeans, because we lived through this tactic. We were used for this tactic, and we can't just watch while politicians create a new enemy. And if we are talking about arts as well, I struggled a lot because of my accent and the fact that English is my second language. So during my musical theater degree, I kept being rejected for roles because my American accent wasn't convincing. I kept being cast as the funny foreigner, and while some of these roles were great, some felt like walking stereotypes. And when there are roles in which Eastern European communities could shine, they usually get offered to celebrities who have nothing to do with our heritage. I'm still so pissed off about the Cold War production at Almeida Theatre. Like, what was that?
I didn't see that yet.
I think it's over. It's been over for 2 years, but I'm not over it.
Do you know what I'm not over? I don't know if you saw it. Oh my god, is it Thursday Murder Club?
I haven't
don't
seen
know,
it.
but even the Polish government was fuming because the biggest thing I had, and I was like crying to my mum about this, there was a Polish guy in it, and his accent was atrocious because he didn't speak Polish. Also, he was speaking in Polish, and they didn't hire a Polish actor.
That's so stupid.
And it changed the ending for him to be the villain.
Of course, Eastern Europeans are always comedic reliefs or villains.
But it's not like that in the book. This is the thing. The book wasn't like that, but they changed it like that to be in the film. And even the Polish government was outraged that they portrayed Polish immigrants in the UK like this when we are now the second spoken language in the UK.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it, or I haven't read the book, or what was it based on? Was it a book?
It's based on the book, which is just fiction. But the book I haven't read the book, but the book hasn't got the same ending as the film.
Yeah. Yeah. Just why did they do that? It's just unfair, considering also how many Eastern European Polish actors there are struggling and working our butts off to get a break in this industry. So this is just horrifying. And even like at college, I would get people joking about my accent or my like language ability, and that just stung. So yeah, it is not great. And there are also, speaking of just, you said migrants and vulnerable communities in the UK. Everyone is struggling in the UK at the moment, really, because of the political climate, as migrants are already affected by the hostile environment policies. But now we also have the rising cost of living, politicians targeting certain groups or nationalities, scapegoating, attempting to divide us. It's affecting us all. It's affecting our sense of safety and our willingness to actively participate in community building. We often just withdraw because of fear, because nobody wants to become a target. But I did find confidence and joy realizing that I'm not alone in those struggles, that there are so many other people here like me, and that organizing together is our power, and that we can have a UK where we are all able to fulfill our dreams, assert identities, and thrive no matter where we came from or how we identify.
Yeah, definitely, because as you mentioned, I feel like the UK is sold as maybe like an American dream, but in an English dream, maybe.
Honestly, now that I think, that's such a good way of putting it.
I mean, but to be fair, I feel like it does offer you a lot. I know I've had so many possibilities that I would have never had in Poland.
Yeah, same.
And I'm privileged enough to sound English, which for me is interesting because people assume. I went to a meeting not that long ago, and someone assumed from my name that I was not going to be sounding like this. And she was condescending so much until she actually heard me speak. Again, just shows to you like the stereotypes about Eastern Europeans and why we're here, what we're doing. Maybe we're not as smart because we don't sound a specific way, or we do end up sounding a specific way, and then people are confused because they can't figure you out.
Yeah, I know. Like, I feel like right now in this talk, my accent is like slipping because I'm just relaxed and talking to you. But I feel like, when I do like more performing work or when I'm acting, I really try to like sound very neutral, and people are like so confused because they can tell probably that I'm foreign, but they cannot tell where I'm from. And like I even had like I worked one hospitality job in my first year of uni, and the people on the bus that was driving us there were placing bets on where I'm from, and that just felt so wrong. Like, can't you just... And people constantly like also I get so pissed off when somebody just like the first thing they say to me is like, where's your accent from? You haven't gotten to know me, you haven't asked about anything else about me, and one of your first two questions to me is where are you from, because I have an accent. I know that I have an accent, you don't have to remind me about that. Like, it's just stupid.
But it's annoying, isn't it? Or I get the same thing. I get the where are you from my name, And then when I say I'm Polish, like, but you don't sound Polish.
Yeah.
You must have been born here. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. But one of your parents is English. No.
Yeah.
No English blood. It's just like, why can't people are so multicultural nowadays, like people from everywhere. Why is it that we have to, I mean, for casting it's the same thing, right? I had to change my surname because they would assume I had a Polish accent or an Eastern European accent. It's just screwed, because then you'd be like either the cleaner or the prostitute, and or something like that, rather than, I don't know, a lawyer. There are plenty of Polish lawyers with accents, or whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm being malicious here, and I'm just like I decided to go by Ania instead of Anna, because nobody pronounced it here as Anna. People were like Anna, and like that made me just feel so like westernized. I was like, ugh, I hate that. So I made a conscious decision to go by Ania, and I have a goal to just like one day be recognizable enough that people bother to actually pronounce my name and surname correctly. I had no idea that my surname would be so much issue until I moved here.
Well, I had to change, as I said, because my name obviously Łucja is very confusing, but even in English I end up saying Łucja rather than Łucja because people can't say it properly. So I have the same dream as you. Sometimes being known by my first name, forget about the second. How have you seen music or art become a way to, or a way of comfort or connection with those communities that you work in, especially with Pomoc?
So at Pomoc we organize using creative methodologies, and we have done weaving workshops, drag workshops, stand-up theater events with live music, and through this we've seen people connect, feel seen, embrace their identity in a way that they haven't before. A recent example is our Weaving Solidarity event series. It's led by a Ukrainian artist, Marina Sulim, and people there make rugs while having political conversations, and participants said that having something creative to do in a political setting made the space feel more relaxed and brought comfort into conversations and openness. And for Marina, the workshop leader, it was also a process where she shared that those sessions helped her open up, be vulnerable, and really understand solidarity as an action of caring for one another. And from a personal perspective, again, as a musician, music, I feel like it's a language of its own. It transcends borders, cultural barriers, and just lets us connect on a pure experience level. And it's so beautiful. I've sang sets in the UK without a single word in English and connected with various audiences. Brits, migrants from my region, migrants from completely different parts of the world. As a listener, when I experience music from a different culture, that makes me understand that culture a bit more. I think music is a very powerful connector, but it also has the ability to comfort, because we sing lullabies, we sing songs about heartbreak, we sing as an act of protest, and music just makes things a bit more bearable and helps us dream alternative futures, gives us that space within ourselves. Yeah,
definitely. And just moving on to that, just more about like how you connect art and activism. I mean, my whole podcast is art as a form of activism, right? So how do you see your music and the way your community work is connected, and is there a form of activism and political aspect to your music?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like most of my music is political. The whole fact that I sing in Silesian and that I decide to bring that to the audiences and show what it's about, that's already political. But some of the songs I write are stemming from political frustration. I'm also writing a musical about the experiences of Eastern European migrants. It's based in the 1950s, and it's very much about solidarity, allyship, privilege, but also xenophobia, and how all of those come into play when you're an immigrant. So yeah, I feel like even when I think even one of my first songs, I have like an embarrassing YouTube video that I've archived now of me being 14 and singing like a song like about how we should stop war and stuff. It's like, it's natural that art wants to speak about the state of the world, and the state of the world is decided by politics. So absolutely, I think there is that connection, and that artists should engage with politics.
I cannot wait to hear this musical, by the way.
Thank you.
Let me know about ASAP the minute that's done. I want to read it.
Nice.
Yeah, because I feel like, I'm doing the same with one of my friends, where we're writing a feature film about abortion rights in Poland.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun, but I don't know if you found this, I know it's not on my set questions. I tried to get funding for my documentary on abortion rights in Poland. Mm-hmm. And everywhere in the UK, but Polish communities were rejecting my grant applications because it was too political.
Yeah, see, this is where you're more organized than me, because I didn't even apply for any funding whatsoever. I'm just like, I'm trying to somehow do it in my spare time while also having a job, and this is another difficulty of being an artist, that like, and the fact that our music or like art, being an artist, isn't treated as labor, and that you actually have to have a job on the side to be able to survive and pay your bills. It is already political, like our occupation is political, so we should definitely be taking stances. But yeah, I have no experience on the funding front because I literally applied for none.
I feel like you should try though, because I feel like because yours is more about community as well and solidarity, I feel like you will have a better chance. It's just because of everything that's happening with abortion rights in Poland. They're just so like, and obviously my documentary and all my films are pro-abortion rights in Poland, obviously. I didn't go because I knew that was going to be an issue. I just pitched it as like an exploration of what the historical aspects and why it is the way that it is. Still no. I had luck obviously with Amnesty and all those kind of ones that I already work with that were good, and obviously connections and people that I know. But even speaking to Poles in Poland, and I spoke to people on the street, no men wanted to talk to me. One woman did, and the rest I had interviews that were done. I mean, you're going to be in it, so that's going to be exciting. But yeah, it was. I think my DOP Alina, there were moments where I was on the street crying my eyes out because I was like, no one wants to talk to me, and so it's annoying. Just like shows the importance of the issue, that it's just going down on the radar, and this is why politicians are getting away with what they're getting away with. Because people are too scared to speak about it. Yeah, exactly.
So what we can do as artists is break a bit of the taboo, and because what you're saying about the funding journey that you've had, it just sounds like censorship. So
exactly.
I do think it's important that we speak up.
And just going back, I've got a few more questions before we finish.
Sure.
What do you think people normally misunderstand about Polish and Silesian folk music?
I feel like the same thing as I did when I was propaganda. Well, about Silesian folk music, I feel like it's been presented to me as something that is like, I don't want to use the word low culture, but like out of the, like this is the language that like they would like me to think of it. I don't like using the word low in the context of culture at all, but that was what it was described as, right? And I don't know, cringe, something that is only like or like funny, but of a joke,
And like old-fashioned, right? Not...
Yeah, and that's something that young people couldn't relate to, or something that wasn't like in my realm of aesthetics. Where actually, like, when I come back to those old songs that my nan has shared with me, or when I see what is being currently created in Silesia, this is like great art. And with Polish folk music, I feel like there's also like a lot of misconceptions, mostly abroad. I think I keep coming back to that show Cold War at the Almeida Theatre, but it was just like such a... I felt perceived. That music didn't feel respectfully presented. It felt disrespectfully perceived, like the people just didn't do their research. It was just very like, it lacked soul. It was just
what folk music was all about. It is all
Yeah.
about soul and community and standing over things. It's interesting. I wonder who was like part of that whole ensemble.
Well, the whole creative team and the whole ensemble had maybe like, I don't know, 2-3 Eastern European names, but they were second generation migrants.
That explains it.
Yeah. So it was just very sad. Yeah, I don't think maybe I feel like there aren't like many misconceptions about Polish folk music, at least in my view of it. I've never heard like anybody slagging Polish folk music in Poland, because I feel like during the communist regime, I feel like the folk music, or like the folk music that was being created at the time, was a bit of a propaganda tube, and it also played a political role, so nobody wanted to badmouth it. So I feel like, yeah, there is that we need to be mindful of. But yeah, I think that Polish folk music is having a nice little renaissance, and what is being done with it, new bands, films like Cold War, for example, I'm just seeing it being revived in a very beautiful way that is authentic to and contemporary and relevant to the reality that we're in right now.
Yeah, and did you see, I think in Cannes, Ojczyzna won, so our nation, home nation, however they translate it, won, which was a Polish.
Oh wow.
I'm excited to listen to it because I feel like there will be some folky elements to it.
Nice.
Especially with a title like that. So
yes.
So I'm excited to see that. And just last one, when people listen to your music, what do you want or you hope them to feel when they listen to your music?
I feel like it depends whether the person is from my culture or not. For people from my culture, I kind of wanted to bring them home. For everybody, I kind of want to bring some nostalgia. You don't have to be from my culture for this music to make you feel nostalgic. But for people who don't know my culture, I want them to get curious about it. I want them to leave with like, ooh, that was cool. I'd like to find out more about it. I'd love to listen to some more music like this, discover some artists. So yeah, that is the main. And I want people to forget about the outside, not forget, like, I don't know, not in a way of forgetting about the troubles of the outside world, because that's largely what I am singing about, you know, my songs are political, but to switch off a bit. Like, we're all so addicted to like screens and technology, and I want this moment to be like a moment of reflection, of going like on a journey and just connecting with me and going on that journey together, and not thinking about, you know, some stuff outside.
Amazing. Well, it was so good to speak to you about everything. I always find it amazing to speak to someone else living in the UK, because I feel like I get to rant a bit about things. So yeah, thank you so much. And
thank you.
I'm excited. People are listening. My documentary will be out in September, and Ania will be part of it. So,
I'm very excited for that as well. Yes.
And hopefully you'll be performing as well. So that would be really nice to kind of see it live as well. And again, bring some more complexities into Polish debates and cultural debates on women's rights specifically.
Yeah, great.